Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Apex Online Racing Grand Prix here in Italy in the F2 League. I'm Ben Rwaggy Amkasa, and joining me on the caster's desk is the incredible Rwaggy Amkasa Elder. How you doing?
I'm not too sure, man. How are you?
I am not too shabby indeed. I mean, it's Monza. I mean, do we need to say any more? This track is insane. It's a slipstream fest, it's a DRS fest, and it's absolutely brilliant when it comes to entertainment, especially for the overtaking opportunities going into turn 1 and plenty of other areas on the track as well. We'll get into that in a short while, but qualifying is underway, and I'm Amkasa. I'm going to do it to you. I'm going to do it to you. I am going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'd like your top 3 prediction, please. Nah, beat it.
Your turn to do, isn't it?
Oh, fine, okay. There are a few new faces in here that we've not yet seen before, at least I don't recognize them. Torsten and Camacho, they are new to me, but we do have some regulars in here that we've seen plenty of times in the past, some of which I'm not quite sure who I'd now put on top step, especially when it comes to this track. There are some insane times around here. We're looking at around about the 118s, the low-end 118s, so 118.3 potentially. I think we're probably going to get... I mean, I've got full faith in Nick Turn. We saw him the other day racing around this track. His lap time was ridiculous. I think he was the only person who got into the 118.3s, which was tremendous. Who would I put alongside him? I mean, Zones can do it. Will he do it? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to get it today. I would like to see him in the top 3. I'd like to be wrong. I don't think I will be, though. I think Copy will be pretty high up today. I think probably P4 territory, but P2 I'm going to give it to Hittinen. P3 I'm going to give it to... it's going to have to be Zens, isn't it? No, Bulksan.
Yeah, Bulksan's one of those drivers that sort of just... I don't want to say appears out of nowhere, but he sort of does.
Yeah.
You don't expect to see him at the top. We never predict him there, but he's always hanging around there. And I think just every single week he just throws a little surprise in. And we get caught out a little bit, which is good. We like that when that happens. We don't want to get it right every week, do we?
Well, I mean, it'd be nice if I could get it at least once every now and then. But no, currently I'm not getting that. So go on then, give me your top 3. I've given you mine. I want yours. Let's hear it.
I think we're both looking at the same guy to be at the top. He's got his buddy, old pal, Copy in here. They're going to utilise that toe, as they always do. I'll be surprised if they don't. Obviously, there's always a chance they mess it up, and we have seen it in other leagues, particularly at places like Belgium, where sometimes you don't quite get it right.
Oh.
And that was Turn running a little bit wider. Has he backed out of that? I think he might have done.
Definitely.
He's definitely looking a bit sluggish coming off that. But yeah, I think we're both looking at Turn to get the pole. Second place. I can't remember what you've gone for, but don't tell me because that'll ruin what I'm going to pick. But I'm going enter and get owned Hittinen. Get owned is going to produce something magical today.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him in the past do some phenomenal stuff in terms of race pace, quality pace as well, but I haven't seen much of it lately. He had a good race last week in terms of his actual pace. I think his finishing position wasn't particularly great. Copy, though, sets the first one. Look at that. 118.5 with 14.5 minutes remaining of the session. That's insane. We've got so much track evolution left yet to go. I mean, Zones does the 119.0 without a toe. So either the toe is tremendous and it really worked in Copy's favour, which we know it is overall, but I don't think he actually got the toe down the home straight. Or he's just that much faster overall.
He got a bit of a toe down towards Ascari and then the Parabolica, so he did get a bit, but not as much as he could have done. And he's obviously benefited quite substantially from that. So how that's going to translate into pace at the end, that's a completely different thing, because we're still very early doors. Guessing a lap that early, guess that a lap that low, that early is a great sign.
Yeah.
He's now just got to do it again when the track's rubbing in a little bit more later on. And
Here comes
I have
Camacho.
one left to do.
119, 125. Pretty quick. I mean, pretty quick being I could never get anywhere near that time. That's insane pace. But yeah, 119, 125. Currently sat P5 in his debut race in the F2s. The F2 league at least. Where's Paddy? Oh, he's just jumped up P8, so 119, 487. The times are really close. Skater coming around the final corner now, also on a hot lap. Is this going to be a 119? Is it going to be low 119? It's not going to be 118. And it's just in the 119s. So 119, 902. And the remaining drivers that haven't yet set times are all in the pits. We have heard from Wow, our resident weatherman, has told us that the race is going to be completely dry. So the qualifying is going to be dry, the race is going to be dry, so tyre strategies will still play a factor, but realistically, we're looking at softs to mediums. It's very easy to do that strategy. No one else is going to try anything different. I think the only people who will try anything different are the ones outside the top 10, and they will go from mediums to softs. That's all it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing that is going to change people's strategy is going to be contact on the opening lap or two, and then they'll probably try and pit onto a set of hards and just run out the race. We'll see how that works out for them. But yes, the weatherman's checked in. The weatherman said it's not raining. It's going to be completely dry. As people are coming out for their second run, particularly the guys who have not been a lap yet. Enter, Boom, Torsten, and Ulyss are all out. As I say, that Wow comes out. So we'll see what they can achieve. Telemetry is up and running. You'll be happy to know.
Good. I like that. Do you have names set up? Are we all good to go? Oh, I mean, you made that seamless. You have properly nailed it this week.
That's why I let you do the predictions first. It gives me more time. And I'll be less chatting about who we've got in here. As I normally do the introduction of the drivers. So we'll go through what we've got. And that takes up time of putting the names. You did the introduction of the drivers. That gave me an extra like a minute to get even more names. I literally just finished the last one not long ago. But that's only because he moved positions and I couldn't find him.
Well, I'm impressed, to say the least. Torsten has started his hot lap. Bit wide there on the exit of turn 2. Didn't quite get the one he wanted.
Copy is right there. Look at that. This is the Force Indias, the Copy N10 connection. Working wonders. Now, Copy's the only hot part for Copy is he's got to stay ahead of N10 for as long as possible, and it's not going to last too long because N10 looks like he's going to take him before he even gets to the second chicane. So it's a bit of a toe, but not as good as it could have been.
He's backing out of this one.
Yeah, he's messed it up.
Yeah.
Is he invalidated or just made a mistake?
Made a mistake. May have potentially invalidated on turn 5, but I think it was marginal if he did invalidate. Realistically, he could just easily go again. He's got nothing to lose. He goes on these tyres. Yeah, he's going to have done half a lap under hot lap conditions, but he can do the remainder easily by just doing, just actually going for it. If Copy can give him a proper tow down the home straight, that would probably be the best place to do it.
Made a mistake, sorry. At the second chicane, he's currently facing the barriers. That's on the exit, so he's just dug into the gravel a bit too much. Back end's gone. And he appears to have not lost anything, but I can't see the front right. And it looks good. Yeah,
it looks good. Looks fine. It was just a mistake, it looked like. Nothing more. Boomsonk has retired, though. Yellow flag, Sector 2, Sector 3. Is it that first victim?
Have a look at Brownie. And you'll see a wreckage on, I'm going to say the left.
Oh, there he is.
In the middle.
He hit the left that hard, he bounced over to the middle. That's a very severe impact to bounce that far back over to the track. So, yeah, big sad rip for Boomsonk. He's not had a great season so far, but still, nonetheless, it's not all over because the race is where you're getting the points, and ultimately, that's what they're going to be fighting for throughout. Brownie obviously just starts a hot lap now. Where is Nickton? Oh, he's in the pits. So Copy is out there on hot lap as well. So see if he can improve his already inhuman time.
Zones has gone purple sector 2. Even though he says he's an out lap, I think this is flying lap. Actually, he's coming to the pits. So he must have made a mistake there, but Volkzan has gone purple in sector 1. So keep an eye on him as he's coming towards the Ascari. And we'll get a second sector split in a moment, and we'll see how he's doing. He's up a little bit on his previous, but not enough to take pole. He actually went slower than his previous best in the second sector, down by 2/10 in one sector alone, which is not good. Now we need to nail this final one.
Oh, Copy's in the pits.
Yeah. He was down by a couple of tenths in the first section himself, so Box I think is going to keep going. Yep. And he showed a little bit, but not enough.
No. A 118.784, 2 tenths off. It's 2 tenths clear of WoW though, but still 2 tenths off of pole. And realistically, you want pole. I mean, you're happy with P2, surely, but pole is the right one. Or do you? Well, considering the run in towards turn 1.
I was going to say, yeah. If you get behind the pole guy off the start, so P3 could be one of the best places to be. P2 is alright, but you've got to come across to get that slipstream down towards the first corner. Well, we'll see how it works out for them, but it's going to be an interesting situation when those lights go out. Me just running very slow, never mind.
Yeah, I was just watching him then.
On a lap.
Skaty's on one. Currently starting though. He's sector 2 just now. Turns 4-5 done. Pretty clean. Is this going to be a quicker 119? Let's see. Here comes into second Lesmos. Good exit. I'm not sure he's going to properly do anything. I think he might improve. He's 4 tenths up, 4 and a bit tenths up. He will be just ahead of Smeege and Paddy. So P11 is where he looks, but he's already put himself in mud 0. He's given up on his laps. It sounds like he invalidated. It's a big sad.
Yeah, it's a shame. He could have had a possibility of jumping up ahead of Brownlee there into that top 10. With only 17 drivers and one already DNF'd, it's easy to be out. Well, easy to be inside the top 10. And he's actually going again on that same set of tyres. Interesting call.
Yeah.
Edison has gone purple. Has gone purple. He's not purple anymore. He's covered in gravel.
He's really struggled in that area of the track. Every lap I've seen him do, he struggles there. And this is the complaints we've had about him before, is that in the qualifying, he seems to have a lot of issues for the most part. And then suddenly it just clicks together on his last attempt. I think it was not last race, the race before. We had him basically just dead to rights. We said, no, he's not going to make it now. There's no way he's going to make it. And then bam, pole position easily. So really good job from a Nick 10 when he can do that. But it puts us on, you know, our hearts are just really fluttering, trying to work out if he's actually going to make it or not. Paddy though, P4. 1,000th of a second faster than Zans.
He's done a decent job there, hasn't he? And we'll see how that one's going to work out.
Look at the times between P4 down to P8. Just look at that. That's insane.
Well, I mean, the top 12 were less than a second. And we've still got 3 drivers to put in time. Skaty can put in a more competitive time. So we could have, potentially, when the check flag falls, everyone within a second of those who are finishing, which would be great to see. And Copy is out on another lap, so he's going to look to improve. Ulyss is also out on a lap. He's looking to set something. He's not had any luck just yet. 25.8 in the first sector, so okay, but not great. Same pace as Brownie, but a little bit of wobble coming off there. I don't know if you're on board. Are you on board with Ulyss at the moment?
I am, yeah.
Watch his green throttle as he's going down a straight. It was wobbling a bit there. I think might be using a little bit of time. It looks okay now. But it was coming off a little bit as he was changing gears. There. Yeah, you can just see it. I don't know if that's...
It looks like he's having a really stretch to put the pedal all the way down.
Yeah. You might need to have a look at that, because I've seen a few drivers that have issues of being slightly on the brake and things when they thought they're completely off it, and information like this is actually really quite crucial. So if they've found out that all of a sudden they're not getting the full power they should, it can be completely race change. He just does put in time, 19.9. But it's the time on the board. Definitely moves him up one place, guaranteed.
So, yeah, I mean, he's done and dusted in his area, at least in a minute. But we are pretty much there. We're not there yet. We've got the few cars out on track at the minute. Bulk's anchoring on a flyer. Copy's just pulled himself into the pits, so isn't happy with his current time. Oh, Bulk's getting a little bit wide. Not a problem though. He's still kept it clean enough. And I've just realised we haven't actually done a track lap rundown.
Probably not. Well, we haven't. But I think this is one of the laps, or one of the tracks that we don't really need one.
I feel like we do.
Everyone knows this track. And if you don't know it, it's because it's the first time you've ever watched a Grand Prix race.
I feel like we need one anyway, though, you know?
This track's been around for longer than I think you and I combined.
Yeah, probably. There was a room there for an old joke, but I decided against it. I thought, no, I will give you that.
I can throw it back at you.
Yeah, I suppose. Where's Bloxant? Coming around the parabolica now, 2/10 up. It's not going to be... Oh, it could be. This could be new pole.
Purple sector 2.
Boom, it is. Look at that. 1:18.407. Really good lap there from Bloxant to get himself onto the provisional pole. 3 minutes 20 remaining. He has put himself in a bit of a predicament now, though, which is...
Plenty of time.
I don't know if he has enough time to get in and out again and do an outlap.
He needs to run high ERS, though, just to make sure he can get back in time. Fuel's going to be low, but he needs to run that ERS. You got 38% to burn. Stick it in 3 for as long as you can. Get back in time. You got 3 minutes from now, so probably a 1:30 in lap. It's going to be tight. It should be okay, I would have thought.
So
But he's actually gonna
Camacho,
get moving.
2/10 up on his previous time, which will actually jump him quite a lot of places because of how close this grid is. He's looking at around Brownie's area. Oh, never mind. Screw that. He's gone P4. Huge
Second
jump
right.
there from him. So really, really well done by Camacho in his debut race. Again, same situation there. Has he done it a bit too early? Possible.
I think he might have done. Yellow 6-1. That was for, I believe... No, I'm not sure who that was. I thought it was a Haas, but it's not. But there is a Haas on track doing a lap. It is Smeege. He is currently down on his previous best in Sector 1. Sector 2 is coming to an end under this bridge, the original bank circuit there. And he's up by 3/10. So this could be a jump into the 18s, which would be a great improvement. Boltzan has retired. Pit lane time with Boltzan. He's decided he's not getting back in time.
Yeah,
And
1:18.4 is
Smeege
going to
up.
have to do it. But the man who could potentially stop him is currently out on a hot lap right now. It's in Nick Turn, who's just had a tow from turn 2 right the way around. And it could potentially be a Nick Turn on pole. He looked clean through turn 4-5 as the area he's been struggling with the most. Now he's got to get through the final really difficult corners, I guess, on this track, which is Ascari. Nice entry. And nice exit. A little bit of a back end kick out. We've got a bit of traffic ahead of him that should hopefully
That's going to be good though.
not affect
If
him.
traffic goes, it's going to work for him. But
Oh!
oh,
I don't know if that still affected him because he took a different line. He had to really fling it in there. Although it might not still be a problem. Oh, P4. I think he may have been affected by that, I'm going to be honest. I think Zones was not expecting a very fast racing point coming up behind him.
well, Zones has got to go, and Enterton has left him alone. Where is Copy? Copy's just started. So Enterton's giving him a little tow through the Curva Grande, which is the turn 3. Enterton's retired. That's in the pit lane, so he's done. Copy is done as well.
Yep, Copy's out. He's not trying.
Zones is the man.
Zones. Yeah. Unless some of the bottom runners can just suddenly just chuck out a ridiculous lap time, which is still possible. Torsten has sadly left the session. I don't know if he intended to do that or not, but not having a great day regardless.
Could be restarting just because he's got time.
Yeah. Do you think? Do you believe Zones can do it?
No.
No, me neither. I hope so.
There's
I
a
hope
reason
so.
for the answer of no. I can see his time.
Oh no! And the fact that he's just hit Ascari and lost it.
Yeah, as well as he didn't go green in the first or second sector, that kind of rules him out as well. And yes, so who's going to be? He's coming up. Get Owned is on his way. Where's he? That's an outlap. Copy is on his way. He's not doing anything. Euless is the next man then to do a time lap. He's wobbling himself.
Yeah. Both throttle and physical car wobbling around. Is this going to be a top 10 potential? He's going to have to improve a lot if he wants to get top 10 though. 8/10.
He's backed out.
Where's Paddy then? Oh, there he is. Just sliding on through. And in the pits. What about
FK.
Wow? Oh, Wow's gone
FK.
really deep. Big mistake. Oh, he's just glanced the wall. He's still alive. But my word, that was a big off.
He's Brownie. Brownie's on his way. Is he going to go? He's gone green, so he could improve. It's not unlikely to be a pole position, but it could be a second row. Never mind. He's joining that crew over in that gravel. They're having a little party over there, aren't they?
It seems like it, yeah. Wow was hosting it. Brownie says, give me some of that cake. And then no cake for him.
Out there.
And in pits. So that's it then. Bulksan takes pole position here today. 1:18.407 is the time that no one else could beat. Copy there in P2 did a 1:18.553, and then we start to get really close together overall. As you got Zones in P3, just 100th of a second behind him. Then at Nick turn P4, Camacho P5, and ultimately it is looking so good today. I'm ready for this.
Absolutely, it's going to be a wonderful race. It's going to be so crucial to break that DRS window, because this is a slipstream fest. There are 11 corners on this track, 2 DRS straights, and when I say 11 corners, I mean turn 3, the Curva Grande, the long right-hander, can see overtaking. You can get overtaken into the first 2. Curva Grande can overtake on. Second chicane, you can overtake on. Lesmos, yes, okay, you need a great drive off from the person in front to get a mistake. Into the first, second, you've got no chance. But then
biggest nads there.
Well, yeah, but then into Ascari, you've got an overtaking opportunity. Why not go for it? Same with going into the Parabolica. So you can see action pretty much anywhere on this track, except for probably the Lesmos. So, yeah, all it takes is a little wobble from someone or a perfect drive off, and we can see some action anywhere, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the top 14 would, well, in fairness, P14 was just outside of that 1 second margin, but still, the top 14 there, and a lot of them, those in the middle, were right next to each other in terms of pace. This is going to be non-stop action. I can just feel it. This is very difficult for you to break any sort of DRS train at all. If you're in the DRS train, you're pretty much stuck there unless you make a big mistake. And you can't pull away from the DRS train at all because there's just nowhere for you. You spend, I think, it's 80% of your time on the throttle. There's some sort of statistic where it's as ridiculous as that. It's really, really high. You know, full throttle, that's just bonkers. But the drivers are on the track, on the grid, prepping themselves for that push, whatever it's going to be. Are they going to go for the right strategy, being mediums to softs if they're outside of the top 10, or softs to mediums, because obviously they're going to have to start on the tyres they qualified on. And I think we're about to find out as we get underway with the formation lap.
You can see some mediums down the back. But yeah, this track set the record, was I believe it's this year and the year before, for the highest average speed across the entire lap, which hadn't been broken since, I think it was, I want to say 2004 by Pablo Montoya. I might be wrong on that one. It might be 2002. But that just shows how fast these cars are now going.
Yeah.
They're scarily fast, especially around things like the Parabolica and the Curva Grande, where they are full throttle, 180, 190 mile an hour corners, especially like the Curva Grande. The G-forces, the actual driver's experience, are ridiculous. I don't use that word often, but it is appropriate.
Right, question time for you. And Nick Turn struggled in the qualifying, but somehow managed to get himself just about in the top 4. Now, you could argue that that was down to the zones being in the way. I don't know if necessarily that's the case. However, I want to hear if your top 3 prediction contains a Nick Turn or not.
He does.
Go on then, hit me with it. Hit me with it.
He's in second place. The current man in third place remains in third place. The winner, Bogdan. Copy's going to drop out of top 4. Enter will get penalties, but he's got enough pace, and I think that's what's going to cost him the race win. Is going to be Enter's penalties. He's the man that gets them. It's not a nice title to have, but he's the man that gets them.
Yeah, it really is. And I agree with you. I just feel as though Nick Turn has something that the others just don't quite have. Bogdan's the only one I'm really worried about. So I am going to still put a Nick Turn to take the win, even though he started P4. I think Bogdan will get P2. P3, I'm actually going to give it to Copy. I know that he's not necessarily the fastest guy in the world, but he's the most consistent guy I've ever met.
What?
I don't think I ever get him any penalties ever, so I'm actually going to put him very nicely in P3. I think Copy will take it from Zones. I think Zones might just finish outside of it. I think he will lose out due to penalties.
Got a very stretched grid here. Boomstock doesn't appear to be coming back in. We've also lost another driver. I forgot what his name was now. Torsen?
Yeah, Torsten, yeah, that's right.
He's not come back. And Boomshock, he's miles off. We haven't lost him. He's just really slow on a formation up and kind of affecting people's races if he doesn't hurry up and get to the grid.
Well, he's coming very slowly. And there it is. Right, so it's about to go green here in Monza. We're about to see the sprint towards turn 1. It's go time here in Monza. Ready for the attack is Copy, looking for Bullockson. Bullockson knows it, goes for the cover, tries to protect himself as much.
Big crash! Ferrari off. Definite contact, sorry. That is Camacho off the track. And I think there's a lot of shunting going into turn 1. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a safety car or virtual, and there's definitely some wing damage on the Hasselschmidt.
Yeah, there was a big send there for Camacho off into the wall. Not sure who it was, but Brownie and Wow are scrapping. Wow is just ahead, but coming into turn 4, Brownie's going to look for the inside. A little bit of a lock up there. Has to back out, does Wow. Even though he was the car ahead, he's just stuck on the outside, which means you get left high and dry. More contact further downfield. Eulis gets sent off to the gravel pit, and he comes back on track. Oh, they are desynced. Luckily for them, they are desynced, but that would have been tremendous. Get on Smeej. Smeej with that wing damage is causing him to lose out. Skatey's just passed him as well, so he's going to be losing out too. Here comes Boomsong. He's passed him as well. Lots of damage on that house car. He's very much going to need to get himself into the pits. Paddy on the back of FK Gaming. Things are getting hot, and we're only on lap 1.
Oh, yes. Welcome to Italy, ladies and gentlemen. Non-stop action is hopefully the plan. Paddy has front left damage on his car. I think we need to look through all the cars to see which one has and which one haven't got damage. But it's looking like a fair few have picked up some little niggles, especially Smeej. And he'll be bringing this one into this. There's no way. Well, I don't want to say there's no way to continue, but it's going to be hard to continue with that wing, and that's what happens if you don't have the ability to slow down.
Yeah.
5-second penalty into the pit lane. Yellow in sector 2. There's no one in sector 2.
Yeah, I think it might be a bug or two. Get on, gets past Paddy. I'm looking at the front runners currently. I've seen Zones closing up pretty close to the back of Copy, but I think Zones might actually have a bit too much error on his car. I think Copy just seemed to be able to, even with only a little bit of tow in comparison to what Zones had got, he still managed to keep himself going. And it looks like the Renault boys are swapping places, battling away. Kimmy's in P6. It's looking good. Who's got the biggest places gained though? It's looking like Boomsong up 4 places into P13. One of those is gained obviously due to the other driver that couldn't make it.
Bradley's up 3 though, so he's not done too bad to get there.
Yeah, Hittenen's there as well though. 3 places, P8 then. Good stuff from him. I'm really looking forward to the next lap. DRS being enabled, this will just add more fight into this race. That's exactly what we need as we come up towards Parabolica. Bullocksan's still leading. It's a roundabout accurate gaps there, 4 and a bit tenths between them. Zone's right on the back of all of this. And you can see him now. He ran very wide there. Copy took a very tight line again. DRS is not available because the detection line is before that corner. Let's see now if anything changes in the lead up to it. No.
Oh, there's a bit of a look there from Ellington. I thought he was going to go for it. Full on send, but he's worked out that it's just wait.
Yeah.
The best tactic sometimes. Just wait for the right opportunity. Don't force it. It will come. Assuming we don't have a DRS fault.
Well, yeah, that would be that'd be tragic, wouldn't it? You mentioned earlier about damage and how they would be going onto the hards if that was the case, and you can see that that's exactly what's happened. 3 drivers got onto the hards, all of them had wing damage and mistakes made. The DRS obviously is enabled, and the gaps on the left-hand side are now accurate, so Nick Turn is pretty close to the back of Zones, and Bullocksan, whilst he is 9/10s clear of Copy, will now be in the most threat he has been so far this race, although nothing is going to change until we get to the home straight.
If even then, in all honesty, because the gaps are all so close still. I mean, they don't break the 1 second window until you get down to FK, although Bullocksan looks like he's about to break it on Copy. Well, is now brought it under 9/10ths, but the only second gap is down at FK Gaming and Get Owned. The Williams boys are not having a good race because they're neither of them got DRS here, and Paddy is going to size up Get Owned coming off of Parabolica. And I don't expect we'll see much movement up ahead. Maybe Hittenen's going to have a move on. Wow. No, he's not. He's not close enough. I don't think even Paddy is going to make a move on Get Owned. He's not close enough. So, Skatey was... Never mind. He thought about it. He didn't go for it.
Everyone's trying. Everyone's praying. No one's getting any results as a result. But Paddy, 2 and a bit tenths behind of Ghetto, and you can see this is the battle for P10, the final point position, coming in towards turn 4-5. No DRS yet until we get out of the second Lesmos, and then you got that sprint right the way down into Ascari. FK Gaming get the first penalty. Ghetto has made a mistake. Here comes Paddy, looking for the inside, has to back out. He knows better. He knows patience is absolutely a virtue here in Italy. It's just whether or not you can maintain the pace and consistency throughout.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, if there was a guy in front of Get Owned, Paddy could have gone for the overtake because then he would still get DRS. Now, if he went for the overtake there, he wouldn't get DRS and Get Owned and may lose the position back. And Skatey's coming down the inside. Paddy's gone on to the runoff, and Skatey hasn't made the move. But he could have a drive. Ooh. He could have had a drive off the corner. He's now got a little stain in his car seat.
Yeah, definitely has brown boxes, that's for sure. That was a very scary moment for him, but still. Going strong, still on the back of Paddy, and we need to look at Zones again, who is on the back of Copy. Copy is absolutely rapid on a straight line. Look how close he gets to the back of Bulksan when he tries for it. He has been absolutely dumping ERS, and so has Bulksan, in order to try and keep this gap alive. I think he's been just trying to push to get outside the 1 second margin, and it's not quite worked out for him. 7 tenths is the gap. This is working wonders for Zones, and it's not working as good though for Nicturn, as he's got the same level of gap, just a bit less ERS overall.
Yeah, it's working well for Zones, as you say. 60-70% now on his ERS. Copy 27, Bulksan 20. The Bulksan is on the edge again of pulling away. 1 second, Copy will get DRS because we go down towards Ascari. So that gap will shrink. So if Bulksan can just nail Ascari and Copy has a wobble, then Bulksan may break that 1 second, but it's touch and go at times.
Yeah.
I think Bulksan's just wait for Zones to make a move. That puts Copy off, and then Bulksan has that second almost immediately.
Yeah, Zones needs to play this smart. He cannot afford to overtake Copy and lose outside of the DRS of Bulksan, because that'll be where, yes, he's got more ERS than the others. This is where he's going to lose out tremendously if he does. Look at the gap now. This is the closest that Zones has been for a while now. Lap 6 of 27, we're going to see the first DRS overtake. And it's going to be Zones charging down the inside in towards turn 1. Comes over a little bit just to sort of give him a better line. And Nicturn almost goes into the back of his teammate. Copy is in trouble now. We'll know that his teammate is so close. And with Brownie right there on the rear of it, he will be trying his best to hold on to this. And somehow Zones has actually gained more on Bulksan than I actually thought he was going to get.
Well, yeah, he's closed right up to less than half a second behind, but we're still early in the lap. See how that changes. Further behind, Hittinen made the overtake on Wow, as Paddy has come in for a pit stop. He's gone on to hard space on the leg for that pit stop. It might have been a wing change to go with it, because he's lost a lot of time. I want to say a wing change, but I'm not sure. Based on time loss, that's all I'm basing it on.
Okay, keep a very close eye on the top 4 right now. They are so close together. You have Bulksan being chased by Zones, as we expected. The gap is sat at 4 tenths, which, as it stands, if they were to exit Parabolica with this gap, the Zones would have Bulksan dead to rights, and there's going to be nothing that can happen about it. FK Gaming's had issues. He's come out of Ascari. He's lost the car, but he has still kept his entire front wing intact. But he's definitely cooked the rears of that car, so he's going to have to go back and prepare himself. Zones coming after Bulksan, and Nicturn coming after Copy. They swap places, no battling between those two. Is Zones going to go for a late send? It's going to be a very late send if he goes for it, but no, he does not. And that is only 1 position change, and that's the racing point, guys, swapping places.
Oh, FK is in the barriers. He survived. I was just going to mention his temperatures of the tyres after he corrected himself in that spin. 133 degrees.
Oh.
And now they are completely cooked. He's almost best to reverse into the pit lane, I think. Right?
I think it's the only way he's going to get into the pit lane at this rate, because he's just cooking. He's coming across the track. Oh, I thought he was going to get in the way of Paddy there, but no, he's kept it. He actually drifted into the pits there. That was.
They are cooked, those tyres. Absolutely cooked. You could break a fried egg onto that, and it would be lovely. Might taste a bit rubbery, but it'll still cook quite easily.
Yeah. It'd be lovely, that.
Paddy's made a mistake. Down at turn 1. Goes straight on. He's trying to avoid picking up a penalty, and does so.
Okay. I mean, we said it earlier, but this time, look at Zones again. He's so close to the back of Bulksan. Bulksan has so little ERS to play with. If only Zones knew how easy it would be to pass him and just take off into the distance. He knows now. Look at him. Mode 4, Bulksan trying to shake it. Nothing he can do about this now. DRS wing wide open. He's chosen not to use it. He's actually chosen not to overtake. He's gone for 0 ERS, 0 DRS.
Playing the long game.
Don't understand. Why would you not do it? Like, surely you know Bulksan's been leading the race since the beginning. Surely you know Bulksan has very little ERS to work with. You have incredible pace in comparison. You can just run away now. Why would you not do this?
My only guess, he didn't want to burn off all the ERS because he's coming in this lap and wants to put in a stonking out lap to completely leapfrog Bulksan and get the 1 second window when Bulksan pit. Because we are pretty much approaching the pit window.
Oh, get earned. He's had an off as well. That's turn 4-5. Can't see if he's got any wing damage though. Ah, we've lost Amkasa.
Still there?
You've lost connection.
I have. The game completely closed on me.
Ah, feels sad, man. Do you have an invite?
I do. I am back in already.
Alright, Zones still closing in on Bulksan. Bulksan is still leading this race, but again, look at Zones. He's just not using the ERS, and he doesn't realise now that this is really just opening the gap to Nickton and Copy, because they don't really have to apply very much ERS at all to keep on him, although he is trying. Bulksan's in the pits. Bulksan made a very late decision there to get in the pits. This has now said to Zones, it's go time, and he knows it. Mode 4 on the ERS has been turned on. He is absolutely gunning it now. He's going to try and make this the fastest in-lap he has ever done, because he's going to have to come in this lap. Otherwise, he will be so much slower overall. But the two ERL boys, they're both in the pits at the same time. They've both gone for medium tyres, and they're both looking to go to the end of this Grand Prix on those exact tyres. And Nickton Copy still sit 2-3 effectively, although they are risking net 3-4. But Nickton's really looking good. He's looking very much in shape and is very much on track to potentially take the race win here, as long as he doesn't screw up this in-lap. He has to have it consistently clean in order for it to work out.
And we're back in. Flawless.
Ah, happy
so what
days.
have I missed?
A very late dive into the pits from Bulksan. He was so marginal, and he still made it look very calculated. But yeah, Zones is very much on an in-lap, and he's very much flying right now. Does have it Nickton obviously close behind. Bear in mind that Nickton did have DRS. I think this is his time. This is time to
This is it. All softs are coming in here, with the exception of Copy or Anyturn, because they can't double stack. So he's in, Anyturn in, Copy has to stay out.
Yeah. Oh, penalties.
Brownie as well.
That's the major one. That's what you were talking about. The penalties for Nickton will just come in because of inconsistencies. He's got that 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. So has Brownie, and that's going to cost him in the end.
Yep, Brownie has come out inside. Anyturn's come out ahead of Zones. He massively benefited then from that speeding penalty.
I think Brownie actually caused Zones to be slow. Here comes Kimmy's down the inside. He's got that position, so Brownie will have to slot in P9, but Brownie will be faster overall. And now the real pressure is on Zones, who really did well to get a good solid in-lap. But look where Bulksan is. He is so far ahead just from that one lap undercut.
Where's Copy going to come out then? Copy's going to come out. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out behind WoW.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's going to drop so far down. I mean, the gap to WoW is 26 seconds at the moment, 26.1, and it's dropping. So that's going to be interesting. Scasey and Boomstock's swap places, and Boomstock's going to be coming under pressure almost immediately from Scasey going down towards Parabolica. Scasey will be... Is he going to size him up? Oh. Just a little, almost a little nudge, just to say I'm here. So
that was like the
25.5, by the way.
That was like the Top Gear challenge of see how close to the bumper you can get without touching it. That was a very, very close. Obviously, this one is just a diffuser and a gearbox. Oh, here he comes though. Look at the pace he's chucking in. He's going to go try it under the brake in. He's not. Might get it on the exit though if Boomsong has a pretty terrible exit.
Here comes Copy.
He doesn't.
Yeah. Copy's not coming out that far down. He's going to come out alongside Brownie actually.
Yeah, with Kimmy's in between them though. Kimmy's actually he did the undercut as well because he pitted at the same time as Bulksan did. Look at that, he's now in, realistically, P3 because of a Nick Turn's penalty.
Yeah, I'm going to have a quick look at those 5 seconds because there were a couple that came in. Just want to make sure we haven't missed any. Smeech has 1. He could serve that if he stops again. Enterton and Brownie, you've got penalties for the 5 seconds, and that is it for the 5-second penalty so far.
Emphasis on the so far, as it could easily change up. There might even be some 3 seconds get added later on. We saw FK's got 1, but he's currently down in P15. It's not working out well for him so far. The gap is starting to spread out a little bit. Copy's losing time. Skatey and Boomsong swap places. Skatey is now in physical P1. Net P1 very much not on the table. Look at the pace that Boom just got out of that corner. They didn't even need the toe. He just got much better line. DRS swing wide open, and no matter how good your overtake was in the lead up towards Parabolica, Skatey, that DRS will mean there is no way you're coming back at him now.
No, it's always interesting to go for an overtake into the Parabolica. The only reason you can think of doing it is if the other guy completely let off and let you through, or you come into the pit so you don't care. And so Skatey took the overtake, got the position, then immediately lost it from Boomsong.
Yep.
But is now trying to size him back up and has it all to do again.
Yeah, he needs to do it a little bit smarter this time. Can't afford to be attacking him in the running up towards Parabolica. It will not work out for you. But we just saw WoW set the fastest lap time. It was, I believe, a 1:22.090. So good stuff from WoW to chuck that time in. I mean, looking around, there's actually no one else that close to him. There's a few, a couple of tenths off. Brownie's there. Bullocksan is just pipped him to it. You got Skatey and Bullocksan who've done the exact same times in terms of their fastest laps. Look at that, 120. Oh no, sorry, 1:23.308.
They're exactly a second apart, you can say.
Yeah. Thank you for the cover.
It's all right. But there's one thing and maybe it's not going to work out though. One thing I was going to say is that now Bullocksan's got past Get Owned, he's bridged the gap with himself and Anyturn, but Anyturn was just outside the 1 second window to Get Owned. And that could have been so important to Anyturn.
Yeah.
So have got that DRS to catch up easy to Get Owned, to get past him on the back of Bullocksan. It's not worked out for him. And now he's got to hope Get Owned can hang around for a bit to give himself the pull. And that's not going to be just him. That is Anyturn, Zones, Kimmy, Brownie, Copy, WoW, Isn't. All of them, all fighting for currently podium places.
Well, I mean, it's physical P1 if you look at it, because Bullocksan is the star of the train now that Get On is within it. Copy getting a time penalty though, that's very much unnatural. Yellow flag sector 3, who's that? Oh, that's Eulis, yeah. Oh. FK Gaming just goes right through. Yeah, coming out Parabolica. Into the pits he goes. Is it going to be retirement? Not yet, at least.
Skatey's back ahead. Skatey's back ahead now, Boomsong. But Boom's going to have the DRS on the home straight once again. These guys are just trading places at the moment, and Bullocksan is catching them up slowly but surely. And we'll see. Is he going to... Oh, that was close. I thought they were going to nudge there. That could have been a big accident. Potential safety car. Potential safety car as Eulis has been deployed out of the pits by his team, even though he's not in control. So keep an eye on that. That could change everything.
He can, but one thing that is changing, that Nick turns ahead of Get On now, and he's just outside of that 1 second margin. He's now within it, actually, on Bullocksan, so the race lead is still on, except for the fact that Nick Turn has that 5 second penalty. But if you look at it, Kimmy's on the back of Get On as well. He needs to hurry up and make quick work of Get On. So does Zones in order to get past and potentially run for this P1 position. But anything can happen in the remaining laps, of which there are 14.
Yeah, Eulis is still out on track, even though he's retired, so that's what's causing these yellow flags. Paddy's coming up to the incident now, so I'll get a good look and see what's happening. Hopefully, he's pulled over by now. No,
still on track.
He hasn't yet.
Still rolling.
Lapped, so it's okay. Where is he now?
Well, the flag has been cleared, so it appears he's gone.
Yep, he's paused back to the pit lane.
Okay,
So,
Kimi's looking for Get Owned. Get Owned is under threat quite severely because Zones is right there as well. This is going to be a double overtake here. Get Owned does not have DRS to protect himself with. He's also on very used mediums. So when he pits, he's going to have to come out and come back in again on the soft. Kimi's is going for the move. That is a very easy, simple overtake. Here comes Zones. Get Owned was going defensive there. It's going to be a battle of the brakes, and it looks like Get Owned has actually managed to hold him back. But that was getting very tight, very tense, very close. And somehow Get Owned still sits P6, despite the fact there was double slipstream, double DRS. And I think Zones ultimately, I think his aerodynamic setup is what's causing him problems here. We saw it earlier when Copy was leading and Zones was chasing. There was nothing that Zones could do to be faster. And I think ultimately that's cost him quite severely here.
well, if you want some interesting stats here for you, top speed, this is over the entire race so far after I reconnected, so it might have lost a bit of data. Zones' top speed is 351 kilometers per hour, and as we just see him goes past Get Owned. Get Owned's highest is 345, but he is obviously not on as grippy a tires, which could have an effect. But you compare it to like the Kimi's 349.
Oh, buddy.
That is retired. That is the second in between the Lesmos.
Yeah, it's a big crash there. Have you seen that? That is a
No,
big hit into the wall.
Huge. Anderson's top speed is only 341, by the way. So Oxen's is even lower, but he has led for the entire race. So
yeah, no DRS for him.
Yeah, and no ERS at the moment either.
Is he still struggling? Oh, he is. I mean, Nickton's not exactly in a much better position, but Bulgzan looking to battle Skatey for physical race lead, despite the fact that Bulgzan has net race lead as it stands. And Nickton is right there on the back, ready to close in if an opportunity should arise. But look at the gap between him and Kimi's. That is 2 seconds now. This is working wonders for Nickton.
FK Games in the barrier, and he seems to survive. He just eased himself back on there. Just this is like, I'm coming out slowly and avoids damage, but that's the second time he's had a spin there. He's not liking that corner, is he?
No, he really is not. You're not wrong at all. Okay, so I'm just trying to think what Nickton could do here. The gap between him and the car behind is 2 seconds. Kimi's gets a penalty. That will help secure Nickton in a better position. As it stands, he's still going to lose that place, though. It is still about 4 tenths. Yeah. Well, he's only going to lose that one place.
And Zones.
Sorry, yeah, Zones hasn't got a penalty either yet. So
and Get Owned.
Yeah, but he's got pit, so that doesn't count. Skate's in. He's going to go on the softs. 10 laps to go. Bulgzan. Man, I'm looking at Nickton's ERS usage. It's much better than it has been. But Bulgzan's managed to recover some ERS due to that DRS he got from Skatey.
That's really going to help him out. And, I mean, Zones, again, really good on his ERS management. Sitting at 35%. Better than the two in front of him and pretty much everyone behind him. Brownie is quite good as well, but Brownie has a 5-second penalty, so needs to, well, at the moment he's losing a lot more than Entertain will. Oh,
Indeed.
I think Garen needs to come in the pits. I've just seen his tyre wear. I'm going to keep an eye on him because this could end badly.
Do you reckon Ascari might claim him?
73% rear left. I think it's worth watching.
I'm ready to watch.
Just in case. It should be okay, but...
And... pop.
Well, that's okay.
Damn it.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Here comes Wow. Also, Nickton, look how close he is to the back of Bulgzan. This is closer than they have been for ages now. Bulgzan in trouble, and Nickton sees the opportunity. Look at the charge. That is so fast from that racing point immediately into P1 now. Bulgzan will obviously get that slipstream, but Nickton's closed the DRS again. Get Owned in the pits.
Oh, me just made a mistake. He's lost it in the second sector. Second chicane even. It's the second sector as well. But... and it's not going well for him. But I think we've got to keep our eyes on those new soft tyres. They could start becoming a factor later on in the race. Right. What's going on up front?
Not a particularly huge amount. I mean, then Nickton obviously got that pass there on Bulksan. Bulksan is still close enough to be able to actually re-attack if he wanted to. It's not going to happen just yet, though. He's just trying to... I get the impression Bulksan is just trying to maintain his ERS levels now, get them back up again, now that he's been given an opportunity to do so. That will help a Nickton massively, though. That's one of potentially more. And Nickton...
Yeah.
Hasn't had a off-track point penalty yet.
I was going to say, he hasn't had one yet. And Nickton is the type of driver that's going to get what we saw during the qualifying, how many mistakes he made just to try and put in a time. That could, okay, yes, that's qualifying, it's a different scenario. But now he's really got to put the hammer down. He has got just enough at the moment, assuming if Zones picks up a penalty, he's covered him off penalty-wise. That requires those to get a penalty and Nickton not to get another.
Yeah.
So don't forget, Nickton has that 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, along with Brownie. And I think in another lap or two we should do a rundown, because there are quite a lot of penalties going on. And we'll do a full-on rundown later, I think.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, a little bit of off-track there from Bulksan. Getting a little bit into the gravel. Has slowed him down a touch. This is actually giving Nickton the break he needs. He's now clear of zones. If Zones was to have a 3-second time penalty applied as well, that is. Which he doesn't. Bulksan...
Not yet.
In trouble. Definitely in trouble. One more penalty on Bulksan and he's going to lose out quite substantially. He cannot afford it, but he also needs to be quick because he can't allow Nickton to run away with it. Oh, very offline there.
It's worth mentioning, Smeej isn't that far up the field at the moment. So if Elgato can catch up to him, he's going to have a little bit of slipstream and a bit of DRS, just to save up some more of the ERS and make an easier overtake. But as I say, that Smeej comes to the pit, so completely ignore me. It's irrelevant. Thanks, Smeej.
I'm surprised he left it so late to go on the softs, to be truthfully honest.
He'd pitted once earlier, so he was only on 15 laps in on those softs.
Yeah, but, I mean, he was in a position where he's not going to gain anything right now.
He's not going to lose anything. There's nothing for him to gain, there's nothing for him to lose at this point. He's not going to get a point from back here unless we see another few DNFs. And it's going to have to be a fair few DNFs. That's him causing yellow flags, so ignore that.
Hitting him though, look at that. 121.007 takes that point away from those in the top 10, which is good for him. But still not enough to be able to get any points on the table for him. He's not actually going to get that point, he's just taking it away from the others. And you can see now, if you look on board with Bulksan, that gap is getting larger despite the fact that Bulksan had DRS.
Well, let's see, this is where Bulksan's struggled in the last few laps. This corner runs very wide on the exit. I'm not a great knowledge of that sort of thing. Is he getting warnings for that, do you reckon?
You only get warnings if you cut the inside really hard. If you run seriously wide, you can get warnings. I mean, okay, what he's doing currently is fine. Okay.
I don't often run that wide because I don't have enough pace to do that.
You never make it to that corner, let's be honest. But
no, I do. I did last time. That's where I crashed on the exit.
How has Bulksan not got DRS? He didn't have DRS down there. He is now, but he wasn't on that straight.
Because Anyturn did a massive last sector. He did a 27.782 compared to 27.937. So he carved out 2 tenths in that final sector. And he just carved out another couple of tenths in the first sector.
Oh, Bulksan is so out of shape. Bulksan's getting another penalty, I can feel it.
Bottom right. It's just gone off, there you go. Yellow fuel warning means he's not got enough to finish. He's been running so high to stay in the lead or stay on the tail. He's burnt off his fuel.
Yeah.
He's now going to start saving, which is easy in the game. You just put it to lean. It's not like he has to lift and coast just yet. But he needs to keep that in mind. That's another thing he's got to factor in his attempt to get after him. He may be doing a cool down few laps to set himself up, but based on the fact that he's not really got getting that ERS up, he's not doing too good a job of it.
No. Brownie, though, on the back of Copy. Remember, he does have that 5-second penalty, though, so that's not going to really help him. He's only going to lose a place as a result of it at the minute. Copy does have a time penalty. It was one thing I was praising him for was how consistent he was, and today he's sort of let me down a little bit with that penalty. 5 laps to go though, 6 if you include that one, and that's the end of it. Nick Turn's run, really. The only way this could work out is if Bulgsan gets 2 lots of penalties, or and Nick Turn carries on breaking huge levels of gap.
It's going to have to be a big gap now.
Yeah, huge. And Zones is still within it.
Yeah, so let's quickly do this said penalty rundown. Lap 22 of 27. We've only got 1 battle within 1 second zone, but I think at the check flag there could be more battles. So, any turn 3 seconds plus the 5-second speeding penalty. That will be applied after the race. Bulgsan 3, Zones 0, Kimi, Copy, and Brownie with 3. Brownie has an extra 5 for his pit lane speeding. Wow is on 6, Boom and Skatey on 3. Get Owned is on 0, so he's doing alright there. Hitton on 3, Camacho on 6, FK on 9. Plus, I think he's got another 3. He might have served that. Sorry, yeah, I think he might have another 5, but I think he served it by now. And Smeege is on 0, but those guys are
right down the field.
Yeah, they're unrealistically going to be a factor, but you never know. If you see a big incident between the front runners, and things change, but I think it's going to be their only hope right now.
Copy under attack from Brownie. Not really going to be changing right now, but and Nick Turn's pace has just suddenly dropped off. And Nick Turn just doesn't have it anymore.
Well, I mean, they're both, look at their ERS levels, they're both less than 10%. They are both hammering that ERS button.
Well, I mean, if you look at the top 5, they're all hammering it. Copy's the better one. But they're all so low. It's crazy. They're just... Everybody's scrapping to try and keep themselves in a good position ERS-wise. It just isn't working out right now. It's mental.
Not at all. So Zones is looking really good right now for the win. And he doesn't need to worry too much. He just needs to race his own race. He's got Kimi's 2 seconds behind him, but Kimi has a 3-second penalty. The 2 guys in front, Anytone has 8 seconds. Bulgsan has 3 seconds. So he's loving life. Yeah. 0 to his name. I hope I've not just jinxed him. He's going to get one in a moment. But yeah, he's loving it.
Zone's getting the win. I don't think he even knows it, though. That's the thing. He's great. I don't think he knows it because the 5 seconds won't show. And he won't be able to ask at Nick Turn's penalties anyway. Unless he has a physical race engineer. The Brownie Copy situation swapped. Brownie's ahead, but ultimately it's a no changer unless the next 3 laps shape up to be something extraordinary.
Yeah, it's looking like those soft guys are not going to get themselves back into contention. They're gaining about a second a lap, but we've only got 4 laps left, so... And there...
Oh, that's it.
Nail in his coffin.
Yeah. He's definitely donezo now. That is his race very much in the bin. I don't even know how far down that knocks him now. I think Copy actually jumps him. I think he's that far down from this penalty situation.
He's got 11 seconds, so straight up before anyone else's penalties, he's just ahead of Wow. But I think, yeah, Copy will have him. Wow won't because he's got 6 seconds. Brownie has 8, so I don't think he's got Brownie covered. So Brownie will drop back as well. Wow is definitely not getting there. So I think it's going to be a case of he'll finish ahead of Copy, behind Copy, but ahead of Brownie. So Brownie will drop him, yeah.
Yeah. I think Nick Turn has more than that though, doesn't he? Because I'm sure I've seen him get 3 lots of 3.
He's got 11.
And then a 5 on top of that.
He's got a total of 11. Yellow Skatey has had an off. That's just cost him a point. And that is actually doubled Hitton's points. Because Hitton's got the fastest lap to his name.
Yeah. That's a big deal. These points mean prizes. He says quite regularly. And so does a very famous presenter.
As he did. You're talking about me, yeah?
Of course. Brownie's managed to somehow get right onto the back of Kimi's here. This is working brilliantly for him. Blue flag for, I can only assume, Smeege. No. FK, that's who it is.
Oh, there's no real blue flags anymore, are there? Because they just goes through them.
Yeah.
So they don't need to move out the way, but they still get hit with the penalty, which I think's... Oh, Brownie lagged. He's losing out to Copy. Copy's inside and now ahead of him. Big lag there for Brownie. That's just cost him a place to Copy.
For everything he worked so hard to achieve as well. It's so sad.
Yeah. They still give penalties for ignoring blue flags, but yet you don't need to move out the way anymore, which I think is a real harsh punishment on the back markers. If they have the ability to drive through you, yellow instead of turn, Skatey again. That's 2 and 2 for him.
Yeah. Wing damage as well. Look at that left side. That is very much in bits.
His teammate is coming up behind him, but they're so far off the points, I don't think it's going to matter, unfortunately, for him. Actually, Smeej is going to unlap himself, potentially.
Well, unlap himself on his teammate, that's it. And bear in mind, he's in P11, so it's really not gone well for Smeej. Almost went even worse for him there. That's a big back-end kick out. Caught it. Brownie again, still working his way towards Copy once more to try and attack again, but ultimately it's all for nothing, although that's huge. Copy's in the gravel. Big mistake there. Penalty and gravel trap means Brownie will be able to pull away. That's 6 seconds for Copy now. Brownie's actually just secured himself a position.
And so is Ellington. He's now dropped outside the the 8 seconds of Ellington because he's got his own penalty. Now he's outside the 5 seconds. So yellow in sector 1. I'm going to assume that's Smeej, but I can't tell.
He's still going okay.
Well, there's yellow in sector 1 and he's the only one in there. Could be wrong.
Lads, ladies, and everybody in between, it is the final lap now in Monza for the Apex Online Racing F2 Series. And Nick Turn is currently race lead, but Borksan is charging. Ultimately, he doesn't have to pass him if he doesn't want to. He's got a very clean slate to some degree, although it's this man that we're keeping our eyes on. Zones, who is currently P3, has the cleanest slate and has not got a singular penalty to his name, and as a result of that, will be race winner. Don't know if he actually knows that, though. I think he knows he's going to jump Bulksan. I don't think he knows he's going to jump at Nickton. So this is huge, but he can't afford to slow down. He can't afford to get off the gas, both metaphorically and physically, because he needs to stay within that range of him. I think he's got a lot to play with, but he can't back out.
One mistake and he's lost the lead. It's that close. He's probably going to be at 2 warnings as well. It's going to be that close. As we come down to Ascari for the final time, there's no more DRS after this. Ellington, I think, is going to loot. Well, Bogdan's trying to make the move on Ellington, but he's not going to have it. I think Bogdan wanted the win on track, but he's not going to have that one.
No. He's still there with him, though.
Brownie.
Final corner. Kimmies and Brownie did swap places. Kimmies is coming right back at him, though. They're going to be going side by side up towards Parabolica. And it's going to be Brownie who's got the inside line, so he should get the tyre line, but it's big contact. Brownie's gone. He's off into the wall. He's going to lose massively as a result. There's also Mr. Williams who's doing the exact same thing. But look, we were right. Zones has made it to take the win. Bulksan will take P2. Brownie could have had P5. I think he's just going to hold on. I think Bimsunk might be outside of it. Yes, he is, albeit marginally. But Brownie just got a little bit too wide, went into the side of Kimmy's there. I don't know if it was a combination of Kimmy's turning in and Brownie running wide. Personally, it looked like a racing incident to me, but still, what a Grand Prix ending that was.
Yeah, it's a shame Brownie decided to do that because it was not needed. He was going to lose the place anyway. He should have just sat there and he would have not been bad off. Okay, it would have only been one position, but he made a big call there and it backfired in his face.
Yeah. It was a good attempt. I think if it think fastest lap quick.
Potentially, he's gone purple sector 2. Smeej went purple sector 1. Smeej is coming up to the line. So let's look at Smeej first. Doesn't? Yes, he does. So that's just stolen off, isn't it? Skating needs to be a 20 point, pretty much a 21.
I think he did it. Oh, well, 20.9. 20.968. That's fastest, right?
6.8.
20.
No.
Yeah.
9.59 was the fastest.
Ah, he's just outside then. Well, Zones, I bet he didn't expect to be getting that at the end of this Grand Prix. Somehow manages to put himself on the top step, but it is a full Polish lockout on the podium. Well done to those guys. Zones takes the full 25 though. It's Borgsan in P2, Kimmy's in P3, so the two ERL boys looking pretty good. And Nick Turn there in P4, a copy in P5, wow in P6. Brownie, you had a bit of an attack there between him and Kimmy's. Will obviously finish in P7. Boomsong P8, Ghetto in P9, Hittanen P10 for the final points position. And the extra point was taken away from him because Skatey managed to get Smeege managed to get the fastest lap. So well done to him. The only DNFers were Paddy and Ulis. So sadly they didn't finish. But overall a good Grand Prix. Final question for you then, Amkasa. Who is your driver of the day?
You know I dislike going for the winners, but I think there's no one else to go for today. Zones didn't do anything wrong. He sat where he needed to sit, got the win from the penalties, and it was just a controlled race, in all honesty, from Zones, and deserved winner and driver of the day.
Absolutely. We say it loud and we say it proud every single time we say it. Drive fast and drive consistent and you will win almost every race, hands down. But that is it from us here at the Apex Online Racing F2 series. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and joining me has been Jamie Amkasa Elder. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate with you as always, Jamie. We'll see you guys next week for Singapore. I didn't cheat. See you next week.
Tom Ashley.